So today's class is going to focus on opening into our shoulders. So especially if you spend a lot of time hunched over a laptop or hunched over a phone, this should feel nice. We're going to move a lot more today. Hopefully not too quickly, but we'll definitely work up a bit of a sweat today. So if you want to just bring your hands onto your palms and close down the eyes. And just allow yourself to come into the present moment. Paying attention to any sounds in the room around you. And just being aware of them and letting them go. Notice how your body feels today. Or is there any tension or stress? And just work to send the breath to those spots. Working on paying attention to your breath, breathing in and out through the nose. And just take your awareness to space right below your nostrils, your upper lip. Just noticing as you breathe in, nice cooling sensation. And as you breathe out, maybe it feels a little warm. And on your next inhale, breathe in deeply through the nose. Hold it at the top just for a few seconds. And exhale, sigh it out the mouth. Take one more like that, inhaling. Hold. And let it go. Next, inhale again deeply through the nose. And before you hold, tuck your chin into your chest and hold your breath. And as you exhale this time, exhale out through your nose. And lift the head back up. So we'll just take two more like that, inhaling deeply. Drop the chin to the chest and hold. Let it go out the nose. Inhale. Drop the chin. Hold. And exhale, let it out the nose. And lift the head. So just gently allow the eyes to flutter open. And we'll come sitting on our knees. So if you had anything under your hips, just move it out of the way. And locate your strap or your block, or your belt, I mean, if you don't have a strap. And if you don't have a strap or a belt, you can still just, if you don't have the strap or the belt, you can take your arms out behind you and just try and sweep your shoulders up and over, opening into the shoulders. And if you do have your strap, just hold either end of your strap and find a place where it's comfortable for you to rotate your shoulders up and overhead so that it doesn't get stuck here. If you need to slide the arms out longer. And exhale, take it back behind you. Keeping the spine nice and straight. Crown of the head is reaching towards the ceiling. Inhale, take it up and over. And exhale, take it back. Inhale up and over. And exhale, take it back. So if you do have a strap, maybe you work on walking your hands in a little bit closer on the strap and just seeing where your end range of motion is. And if you find your sticky spot, maybe you want to just kind of floss into the shoulders in that spot. It should feel nice. Using the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. My mic is just after. Is that better? Can everyone hear me all right? Patricia, you can? Everyone else, I think, can. Sorry. Must be a problem on your end. So from here, grab your block or your book, whatever you have that's you're using instead of a block. And if you don't have a block, you can just imagine pressing your hands into each side of the block. So inhale here and exhale, press your block out away from you. And on an inhale, bend at the elbows so your wrists are over the elbows. And exhale, take the elbows up and over the shoulders. Inhale here and exhale, trying to press your arms back behind you. Inhale and exhale, take the block back to center. Just take a little inhale here and exhale, press the block out again. Bend your elbows. Lift the elbows up over the shoulders, keeping the shoulders in line. Elbows over the shoulders, and exhale, try and press the block back. So it's not going to be a massive motion, but just working to keep the forearms straight and press the hands back towards behind you. Inhale, we'll take it back to center. Just take a little moment here and exhale, press the block out away from you, keeping the arms straight. Index knuckles are grounding into the sides of your block or just energetically pressing together if you don't have one, keeping the hands at shoulder width distance. Bend at the elbows, wrists over the elbows. Take it up overhead so the elbows are over the shoulders. And exhale, try and press the hands back away from the back of the head, really opening into the shoulders here. Inhale here and exhale. Take the block back to center. We'll just do one more like that. So just inhale. Exhale. Press the block away. Bend at the elbows. Lift the elbows up overhead. Keeping the elbows over the shoulders and the forearms straight. And press behind you. Inhale here. And exhale. Take it back. Just move your block out of the way for now and come on to your tabletop position. It might feel nice to tap out the feet after sitting on your feet. And from here, we'll just make little circles over the wrists. So your palms are pressing flat into the mat. Your shoulders are over your wrists. Hips are over the knees, and just circling over the wrists to warm them up. And just take it around to the opposite direction of the way you were going. Inhaling and exhaling. From here, just lower down into like a child's pose. And then walk the hands towards the front of the mat. Make sure that your knees are under your hips here. And just take it down onto the forearms with the thumbs pointing up towards the ceiling for a puppy pose. You can bring the forehead to the mat or the chin, depending on how much of an intense stretch you want. So your back should be like a ski slope. So your back is nice and rounded. Stretching through the upper shoulders. If you have a block and you want to make this a little bit more intense, you can put the block on the higher setting and just raise the arms up a that bit higher. Just getting a deeper stretch in the shoulders. You can get the same feeling without using any elevation. Depends on how open your shoulders are. From here, remove the block out of your way and plant your forearms down on the mat. So your elbows are under the shoulders, the hands are shoulder width distance, fingers are nice and spread wide, and all of your knuckles are grounding into the mat and your fingertips. So tuck the toes and lift the hips up and back for dolphin pose. So this is strong on the shoulders. You want to try and keep your shoulders over your elbows. And for this one, you can just let the head hang a bit. You can, of course, bend your knees as much as you need to. And your ribs and navel draw in, keeping the core nice and engaged to protect your lower back. And really press into your forearms and lift your shoulders up. Maybe you can straighten the legs. Maybe you can walk the feet closer into the elbows. Using your breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, bend the knees and lower them down onto the mat. And just lower the forehead back for a child's pose. You can walk the hands further to the top of the mat. It should feel nice in the shoulders. Inhaling and exhaling. Letting go of any stress built up from that dolphin pose. On an inhale, keep the forearms planted on the mat and tuck the toes behind you, coming into a forearm plank. So that again, your elbows are under your shoulders, your palms are nice and flat on the mat, and trying to ground your inner wrist into the mat. Tailbone is nice and tucked. Shoulder blades are wide, core is engaged and strong. Strong feet, so your heels are pressing back and you're up on the balls of your toes. Just breathe into it. This is strong on the shoulders. So on an inhale, tip your right foot over so the heel goes to the right and stack your left foot on top and take it up for a side plank variation. You can look up at your fingertips or down. Inhale here. And exhale, bring the left arm back down to the mat and slowly, with control, keeping the hips low, take it over to the other side. So twist onto the left side of the left foot and sweep the right arm up and over, looking up at the right fingertips, or if you need to, look down at the left hand if your neck is at you. Trying to keep the hips nice and high, don't let them sag down. Inhale here and exhale as slow as you can. Take it back to our forearm plank. Lower the knees and press back in for a nice child's pose. So at any time during the practice, if you'd like to come back to child's pose, if you need to take a rest, please feel free to do so. This is a safe posture. And don't push yourself, so just listen to your body. I'm only a guide. You can take what you want and leave what you don't from this practice. It's totally up to you. On an inhale, slowly slide forward into a Sphinx pose. So bring your belly down onto the mat and bring the forearms out to the front so that your elbows are under your shoulders again. Strong feet at the back of the mat. The pinky toes are trying to ground into the mat. So on an inhale, lift the chest and broaden the collarbone so the shoulders are nice and wide, and look forward. And just play with that a little bit to warm up the spine. So exhale, take the chest back down, or maybe just the forehead. And inhale, slowly lift the head up, broadening the collarbones, looking forward. 2 more like that. Lower the forehead down to the mat. And inhale, press into the forearms. Broaden the collarbones, roll the shoulder heads back, look forward. Strong feet. Pelvis is grounding into the mat, as are the toes. Inhale, exhale, lower. And last one. Inhale, roll the chest up and back, looking forward. On an inhale, keep your forearms on the mat and tuck the toes and take it back up to our forearm plank. Your tailbone is tucked in under, trying to keep your body in one straight line. And if you want more of a challenge, lift the right knee and crunch it into the right elbow. And repeat on the left side, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, lift the right knee into the right elbow, replace it into your plank. And inhale, lift the left knee to the left elbow, exhale, replace it to your plank. If you want to add on even more of a challenge, you can also lift the knee and the elbow and bring it back. So the same side, so the left knee and the left elbow, crunch it in, take it back to your forearm plank. It's quite challenging, so we're really warming up through the shoulders and the core. Every time you come back to your plank, making sure your hips are nice and centered and low. So you take your variation. On your next inhale, lower the knees and press it back into a child's pose. Forehead comes to the mat. The knees are closed. The upper body is resting on the thighs. And just engage with the breath here. So at each inhale, you feel the ribs expanding, pressing into your thighs. And with each exhale, you feel them shrink back as your body shrinks. So on your next inhale, slowly slide the hands back towards the knees. Tuck the chin and roll slowly up to sitting on your knees again. And just roll the shoulders back a little. All of that work was quite intense on the shoulders. And just taking any movements in the shoulders that you like. So from here, we'll plant the hands and we'll find our down dog. The hands are shoulder width distance, fingers are spread. Index finger is pointing forward or the middle finger, your choice. So just find how it feels in your body. Forearms are firmed in. Fingertips grip the mat and the whole palm is in contact with the mat. The shoulder blades are wide, you have length through both side bodies. And imagine like your arms are growing out of your hips, so you have one straight line between your hands and your hips. The outer hips push up and back. If you need to bend the knees to keep your spine straight, please do so. This is just as good as the legs straight and the heels on the ground. Of course, if you can straighten the legs and your heels can come to the mat, feel free to do so, but it's not necessary. On an inhale, come up onto the balls of the toes and slowly shift your feet to the side. So your right heel is going to the right and your right toes are pointing left. Your left heel is going to the right and your left toes are pointing also left. From here, come up onto the tips of your left fingertips, and really press into that right hand. And slowly lift the right arm up for a side plank variation. Our feet are kind of awkward here. It's nice just to plug into your right shoulder. Inhale here, and maybe you tilt the heart towards the sky. Inhale and exhale as slowly as you can. Maybe bend into the knees and bring the left hand back down to the mat as the hips go up and back to your down dog. And we'll take that over to the other side. Inhale, come up onto the balls of the right of your feet and tilt the heels over to the left. Come up onto the fingertips of the right hand. And maybe walk that hand forward a little. And if you want, sweep the arm up into a side plank variation. If this is too intense, you can always drop that left knee and use it like a kickstand for modified variation. And tilt your head up towards the sky. Also, if you want more here, you could stack the feet or lift one leg up as the other arm comes off, straight up. So just play around. Inhale here and slowly bend the knees, and as slow as you can, take that right hand back down to the mat. So take this opportunity in your down dog to reconnect with your breath. Inhaling through the nose, maybe exhale, sigh it out the mouth. And take any movements you would like in your down dog too. So maybe you nod your head yes and shake it no. Maybe you straighten one leg and bend one knee to get a nice stretch in the calves. Maybe you sway into the hips. So from here, lift your right foot up and back and point the right toes. Come up onto the ball of your left foot. And then exhale, bend your right knee and bring it into your chest. Plant that right foot down next to your right thumb and lower the back knee. Keep the left hand planted under the left shoulder and sweep the right arm up for easy twist. Looking up at the right fingertips. Inhale here and exhale. Tuck the back toes, bring the hands back down to frame your right foot and just hold it here in a runner's lunge. So your right knee is over your right ankle. Your back foot is nice and strong, so the ball is over the toes. Even 90-degree bend in your right knee. And you're not like crunching down to reach the floor. You're nice and tall, so you length through your back. Almost that if you could reach the hands off the mat, you'd still hold the pose. So the fingertips are not really taking all of your weight, and neither is your right thigh. So maybe if you had blocks here, you can really straighten into the spine. Crown of the head is trying to reach forward. And from here, frame the front foot, lower the back knee, and straighten that front leg, and slowly come up onto the toes of your back foot. This is kind of a strange one. So try and just balance that foot off the ground. It's like a weird pistol squat. Maybe you play with lifting the left arm up, maybe both. Maybe you find your balance, maybe you fall over. Just play with the posture. From here, rebend into your right knee and slowly lift up into a single leg Tadasana. If you can, without touching the mat. If you need to use your hands on the mat, that's fine. So you're nice and strong into your right foot. All four corners are grounding into the mat. The left foot is flexed, and lift that left knee into the left armpit. Inhale here and exhale. Straighten the left leg as the arms come up overhead. So keep nice and straight in your spine. So notice if you're leaning back or leaning forward. Try and stay upright. Maybe you bring your hand to your low back to check. Maybe that means that that leg doesn't go as high. Core is engaged. Right quad and right glute is engaged. Inhale here and exhale. Slowly sweep the left leg back behind you and take the arms down to the mat for standing splits. Inhale, you can use your hands under your shoulders to come up halfway, and exhale, fold a little deeper. So the hips are nice and squared, meaning that if you had flashlights on your hips, they're going to point down to the mat. So if we open our hips, we can get our leg higher. But when we square the hips, the leg doesn't reach as high. That's okay. If you need to keep a bend in the right knee, please do so. But if you can, without any discomfort, straighten that right leg. Strong right foot on the mat. Right quad is engaged and right glute. Inhale, slowly bend into the right knee and plant the left toes back down at the back of the mat. Back to our runner's lunge where we started. Inhale here and exhale. Plant the hands. Take the right foot back to meet the left for a high plank. Tailbone is tucked, shoulder blades are wide. Inhale here. Exhale, lower the knees and the chest and the chin to the mat, looking forward. Elbows hug in by the ribs. Inhale, slide it forward to our cobra. Elbows are still hugging in. Hands are under the shoulders. Strong feet on the mat. And exhale, take it back through tabletop. Tuck the toes and lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. Before we go to the left side, just noticing how your down dog feels now. So your shoulders are nice and open, and then we're working on the legs. Inhale, sweep the left foot up and back. Point the toes, come up onto the ball of your right foot. Exhale, bend the left knee, bring it into the chest, and place it down next to your left thumb. Staying here, keep the right hand under the right shoulder, and inhale, sweep the right arm up. The left, sorry. Look up at the left fingers. Opening into the shoulders are stacked. The left knee is over the left ankle with a 90-degree bend. Inhale here and exhale. Bring the left fingertips back down to the mat. Setting up for runner's lunge here on the left side. So the feet are on opposite sides of the mat. Fingertips are just gently brushing the mat. Deep bend into that left knee. Strong back leg, so the heel is over the ball of the foot. Hips are squared. Ribs and navel draw in. Spine is nice and long, crown of the head reaching forward. Inhale here. And exhale. Lower the back knee. Tuck the toes. And slide it back into our pistol squat balance. So you're up on the toes of your right foot. You can just stay here with the left heel down if you want. If you want to play with the balance, lift that foot off the floor, flexing. Maybe you lift the right hand. Maybe you lift with both. Maybe you fall over. Inhale here and plant the sole of the left foot back down onto the mat. And slowly bend into the left knee and come up standing on the left foot for single leg Tadasana. Flex the right foot and hug the right knee into the right armpit. So the left foot is nice and strong on the mat, grounding into all 4 corners. Big toe is engaged. The left quad is engaged by lifting that kneecap. The left glute and the left outer hip. Inhale here. Release the knee and reach the arms up as you straighten out the right foot. Keep that foot flexed or pointed, your choice. Find what feels best for you. Hips are square to the front of the mat. Spine is nice and straight. Inhale here, and on an exhale, maybe you sweep that right foot back behind you without letting it touch the mat. Coming down for standing splits. Strong left leg. You can keep a bit of a bend in the left knee if you need to. The hips are closed. The heart is reaching towards the shin. The back foot is pointed or flexed, but engaged in some way. Your choice. So the inner right thigh is rolling in and up towards the ceiling. Inhale to lengthen halfway so the hands are under the shoulders, and exhale, maybe you go a little deeper. Inhale, come back up halfway, bend into the left knee and send the right foot back to the back of the mat. Back to our runner's lunge. Right knee over right, left knee over left ankle. Inhale here and take your vinyasa, or you can skip it and go straight to down dog. So step the left leg back to high plank, tailbone is tucked. Lower the knees, the chest and the chin to the mat. Inhale, slide forward for cobra. Strong feet, shoulder blades roll back, elbows hug in. And exhale, press the mat away. Come up through the knees, through tabletop, tuck the toes and your hips up and back, downward facing dog. And inhale here and deeply through the nose. And exhale, side out the mouth. One more like that, inhaling through the nose. And exhale, let it go. On an inhale, take the knees down to the mat and bring the forearms back down to the mat. We'll take another dolphin pose. So we want to really open up and build strength in our shoulders. And dolphin pose is really great for that. So tuck the toes and lift the hips up and back. Inhale here, the forearms are on the mat. The inner wrists trying to ground down. All the fingertips and the palm ground into the mat. Strong forearms, shoulders over the elbows. You can keep a bend in the knees if you need to. The ribs and navel draw in towards the spine. And maybe walk the feet a little closer to the elbows. Pressing the ground away with the forearms. Thinking about opening the chest. So on an inhale, lower the knees and take it down for child's pose. Bringing the forehead to the mat. Inhale deeply and send the breath where it needs to go. So dolphin pose is very strong on the shoulders. We'll take it up into dolphin again. And this time we'll add on some dolphin dips. So tuck the toes and lift the hips up and back. You can keep the knees bent if you need. You can keep the hands as they are, or you can clasp them together in front of your face. Your choice, depending on what you find easiest. Inhale here and exhale, bring the chin over the hands and exhale back. Between each one, maybe you walk the feet a little closer to the elbows. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, forward. Inhale, push back. Take the feet in a little closer. Inhale, bring it forward. And exhale, push it back. Lower the knees to the mat. And take a well-deserved child's pose. You can keep the hands out in front. Sometimes for the shoulders, it's nice to bring them back by the feet. And just breathe. When we spend a lot of time sitting over laptops, over phones, our shoulders hunch in. So we're just trying to break that habit and make our bodies think about what it feels like to open the shoulders and have strength in the shoulders. It's quite a hard area to build up strength in, but a lot of yoga needs a lot of shoulder strength, especially chaturanga press ups. So it's a good one to work with. And then inhale, bring the hands back forward if they weren't already, and tuck the toes and press the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right foot, point the toes, come up onto the ball of the left, and bring the right knee into the chest, and bring the right foot down next to the right thumb, and lower the back knee down to the mat for Anjaneyasana. At this time, find your strap or your belt or whatever you have. If you don't have a strap, you can bring your right hand down inside your right foot and maybe reach back and grab your foot, the inside of the left foot with the left arm. If you do have a strap, send it under. There's a couple of ways you can do it. You can loop under your foot like that, or you can make a loop with the strap, reach around to your right side and hook your left toes through the loop. So whatever way you choose to get the strap around your foot, making sure that each side of your strap, so the right side's in your right hand and the left side's in your left. Your right ankle is under that right knee, and we're just in our normal lunge position, but we're going to lift the back foot up. So that same motion we had at the beginning with our block, with your shoulders, your elbows over your shoulders and your forearms pressing up to the ceiling. Keep that same motion. Bring the straps together and maybe walk your hands down to the end range of your flexibility, and then bring the straps back into separate hands and push into your left foot as you pull with your arms, keeping the elbows nice and open. Lift the chest and draw the navel into the spine. Maybe you lunge a little deeper into the right knee. Inhale here and exhale. Release the strap and just take a half splits between. So not really forcing your half splits, just kind of resting so that the left hip is over the left knee and the front foot can just be free. You can bring the hands to the hips if you want. Inhaling, exhaling. So we'll switch sides. So we'll just bring our right knee back to meet the left. And if you want to line your strap up so that your right foot's just over it, you can. And bring the left back to the front, so your left knee is over your left ankle. Inhale here and exhale. Maybe lunge a little bit first before we reach for the straps. And then locate both sides of your strap. And flex the back foot. And lift the arms up overhead, keeping that same motion as we did with our block at the beginning. Forearms are pressing up to the ceiling. Inhale here and exhale. Go a little deeper. Maybe you walk the hands down the straps, using your back foot as a bit of leverage and also using your arms. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, draw the navel to the spine. Inhale to release and exhale. Drop the right foot back down to the mat and straighten that front leg. We can bring the hands to the hips. Make sure your right hip is over the right knee. And maybe just roll out the front ankle. So we'll repeat that again. So we'll just switch out the feet. And if you're using a strap, make sure you just leave it under the foot so it's easier to set it up. Right knee over right ankle. Right foot is nice and planted on the mat, like as if you're going to leave a footprint. Inhale here and exhale. Lunge into the right knee as you lift and flex the back foot. Maybe you walk the hands down the strap, pressing the forearms up, pushing with the foot and pulling with the arms. Lift the chest, draw the ribs and navel in. Inhale here, and exhale, release. Lower the back foot. Straighten the front leg. You can take the hands to the hips if you want for our lazy half splits. And we'll just repeat that on the left. So switch the left leg to the front of the mat. Bend into the left knee. Inhale, straighten the spine, and exhale, lunge into that knee as you lift the back foot. Connect with your strap. Walk the hands up the strap. Press the forearms to the ceiling. Opening the chest, opening the shoulders. Draw the ribs and navel in. Maybe feel a nice stretch on the right hip flexor. Inhale here and exhale, release. So from here, move your strap out of the way and take it back into downward facing dog. Just walking out the feet. Inhale, exhale, side out the mouth. One more like that, inhaling, exhale, let it go. Just not worrying about what you did or didn't do. Just more looking for how it feels in the body. Inhale here and exhale. Take the forearms back down to the mat for another dolphin. You can keep the feet straight or, of course, bend the knees. Try and walk the feet in as close to the elbows as you can. Keeping the shoulders over the elbows. Shoulders are broad. Look down at your thumbs. Inner wrists are grounding into the mat, as are the palms and the forearms. round the upper back, ribs and navel draw in, and you're pressing your chest back towards your thighs. Maybe you lift one leg up off the mat. Maybe you don't. If you do, just balance it out by also doing the other leg. Inhale here and exhale. Take it down to the knees and take the forehead to the mat for child's pose. Inhale and exhale, let it go. Dolphin pose kind of looks like it shouldn't be that hard, but for some reason it is. It's important just to let our heart rate and our breath settle. After more intense postures, so our body knows it's okay. On an inhale, just lift the forehead off the mat, tuck the chin, slowly roll up back to our hero's posture on our knees. It feel nice maybe to roll the shoulders out after all of those dolphins. And come up onto the toes, tuck the toes under, and if you can, slowly lift the knees up off the mat and come up to standing. And just find your strap. If you don't have a strap for this posture, it's actually a better variation than going for the full dancer's pose. So without a strap, we'll all do it this way first. So come standing, big toes touch. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Turn your right hand out like you're about to serve someone a tray of food. Bend your right knee behind you and reach back and catch the inside of that right foot. Hug it in to the right glute so your left leg is strong, quad is engaged by lifting the kneecap, the glute is engaged. You can keep a little bend in the knee for you if it feels better. Inhale here and exhale, pull that heel into the right glute. So find a focus point in front of you, one that's not moving, or a drishti, as it's called in yoga. Maybe the tip of your nose, or maybe something on a wall in front of you. Bring the right hand out, the left hand out to the front, reaching forward as you lift the chest and lift the back foot and kick that foot into the hand and the hand into the foot. Lift the chest and lift the foot up to the sky. For modified dancer's pose. Inhale here and exhale. Slowly take it back. Place the right foot down on the mat. We'll take it onto the other side. So bring your right hand to your right hip. Put the weight into your right foot. Ground into all four corners of that foot. Bend the left knee. Bring it in line with your right. And reach back for the inside of your left foot. You can just stay here and pull that heel into the glute if that's enough. Or maybe you slide your hand down the right thigh and then take the hand out in front and kick back with the left foot into the left arm. Finding your focus point. Ribs and navel draw in, the chest lifts, the toes are pointing towards the ceiling. And exhale. Release slowly with control. If you fall, it doesn't matter. It's just the yoga pose. So now we'll try it with our strap. If you don't have a strap, just do it the same way again as we practiced just now. And if you do have a strap, so like we already practiced before, you're gonna loop your back foot. So this time we'll go with our right behind you in your strap and keep your hand on opposite sides. So your right hand has the right side of the strap and the left hand has the left, grounding into all four corners of the left foot. Inhale here and exhale. Spin the shoulders so your elbows are pointing up to the ceiling. The biceps are internally rotating towards the ears. So just like we did with the block at the beginning, the forearms are pressing up to the ceiling as you create that tension with the foot. Maybe you walk the hands back the strap, finding the edge of your flexibility. Maybe not pushing yourself too hard, but just finding that point. And when you do walk your hands back as far as you can, make sure you're trying to keep the elbows apart, keeping the arms apart. Press the forearms up, kick into the foot, lift the chest. Navel draws in. Strong left leg. Inhale here and exhale. Slowly take it back down to the ground. Maybe roll out that left leg. Just roll into the foot. And we'll take it over to the left foot back. So we're standing on our right foot. Hook your strap around. Strong right foot. I'm going to come off my mat this time. Grounding into all four corners of that right foot. Flipping the arms around so the elbows are pointing up. Biceps are rotated internally towards the ears. Triceps pointing forward. Kick into that back foot as maybe you walk the hands down the strap, releasing back to opposite hands when you find your end range of motion. Lifting the chest, drawing the navel in. Inhale here and exhale to release. So move the strap away from the mat and just come back up onto your toes, tippy toes, and maybe slowly bend the knees. You can take the arms out in front for balance and lower down, and then bring the knees back down to the mat. And just take it down onto the feet. Allow the eyes to close. Inhale deeply and exhale. Sigh it out the mouth. Taking a minute to come back to center. Maybe your heart is racing. That was a strong heart opener, shoulder opener, balancing posture. From here, come back up onto the knees. The toes can be tucked or untucked, your choice. We'll take one camel pose. So you can bring your hands to your lower back. Fingers can point up or down depending on how it feels for you. The aim is to try and roll the shoulders in so that the elbows can meet. Inhale here and lift the chest. Imagine you had little, what are they called? Suspenders, and you're trying to lift your shoulders up. Look up. Hips are going forward, but not too far forward. And if you want, maybe walk the hands slowly down the backs of the legs until they find the tops of your heels. You can always use your blocks to create extra height here. And lift the chest, press the hips forward. And if it's comfortable in your neck, you can allow the head to drop back. Sirsasana, camel pose. Inhale here and exhale. Exiting the pose as we came in, so we place the hands on the lower back. And slowly lift the head, tuck the chin, and we'll take it back down to our hero seat. Taking a moment here. Inhale deeply through the nose and exhale. Maybe your heart is racing a little. It's normal after back bends. So on an inhale, slide your feet out to either side, your preference, and take the legs out to the front of the mat and lower it down onto your back, making sure you have enough space behind you. From here, plant the feet about hips width distance on the mat. Make sure your shins are in a straight line up, so your knee to your ankle is straight. Maybe you can just barely tickle the backs of your feet with your fingertips when you reach. That should be about the right position. On an inhale, press into the soles of the feet and lift the hips up off the mat so they're in line with the knees. The bridge pose. The palms can ground into the mat underneath. And with each inhale, maybe the hips lift a little higher. Inhale here and exhale. Lower it back down, vertebra per vertebra. This time, maybe shimmy the shoulders in under your body so that your hands can come interlaced under your bum. And press into the feet and lift up again. Maybe when you're up a little, shimmy the shoulders further. Looking up, keeping the head nice and straight. Press into the soles of the feet so the knees are staying over the ankles. You don't want them knocking in or knocking out. And energetically, like you want your heels to come towards your hands. You can press the heels into the mat. Maybe you lift your toes off just to feel the difference. And the inner thighs are rolling upwards, like as if you had a block between your legs and you wanted to send it upwards. Inhale here and exhale. Lower it back down. So from here, you can take bridge position again. If you want a more resting bridge and you have a pillow or a block, you can just slide it in under your lower back and just take a more restorative version. Or if you want to take it up to wheel pose or Vinyasa, follow me. Same feet as our bridge, strong soles of the feet planted on the mat. Knees are pointing up, shins are straight. And on an inhale, bring your hands underneath your shoulders and kind of your fingers are pointing towards your bum. Elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling, and shimmy your hand just so your fingertips are pointing towards the edge of the mat a little and your thumb is on the inside by your shoulder. That little rotation in the wrists makes it easier when you come up. So inhale here, exhale, let it go, and on an inhale, press into the feet and the hands and come up onto the crown of the head. If you can, point the elbows up and then press into the hands to lift into your wheel pose. You should have absolutely no pain in your lower back or your back at all. If you do, please come down out of the position. You're trying to press the chest through the gateway of the arms as you work on straightening the legs. Inhale here and exhale, bend the knees and slowly lower back down onto the shoulders, lowering each vertebrae slowly back to the mat. Allow the knees to knock in. And if that was hard on the wrists, maybe roll the hands out or bring the backs of your hands together like a weird reverse prayer kind of position. Just to roll out the hands. Coming back to the breath. On an inhale, hug the knees into the chest and reach up to the insides of the feet and bend the knees so the knees are coming to the armpits. Trying to keep all of your spine grounded on the mat for happy baby. Soles of the feet are flexed and pointing towards the ceiling like you're going to stand on the ceiling. And pull the knees down into the armpits. Maybe you rock from side to side. Maybe you play with straightening one leg and then the other. Using the breath to rock yourself. This is a nice kind of grounding position, as well as even the name Happy Baby just takes you back to your inner child. Just playful position. When you're ready, come to stillness and bring the knees back together and hug them into the chest. Inhale, cross the ankles and slowly rock up to sitting. And from here, take the left leg out in front straight. Sit bones are grounded into the mat. You might have to move some flesh around. Take the right sole of your foot on the inside of your left thigh. Press that foot into the thigh and flex flex the left foot so the toes are pointing up. You might want to put something under your right knee if it's hovering a lot off the mat. A block or a cushion. Inhale here and exhale, fold forward, reaching for the left foot, or maybe the hands just come to frame the left leg, keeping the spine nice and straight. Maybe you use your strap here if you want to work on reaching for the leg, using it to straighten the spine. Inhale to lengthen, crown of the head reaches up, and exhale, folding over. Chin comes to the shin. So after all those chest openers and heart openers, we're folding on ourselves, reclosing ourselves, creating the balance in our practice, the yin and the yang. Inhale, tuck the chin and slowly roll up. We'll just take it to the other side. So the right leg is out straight, the toes are flexed, the sole of the left foot is on the inner right thigh. You can use something under that left knee if it's floating a lot. Inhale to lengthen up, arms come up, and exhale, fold over the right foot. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. So almost like you're trying to push your right upper thigh bone back into that hip. And if you don't have the foot, just keep the palms on your mat and kind of gently pull yourself down a little with each breath. Inhaling to add length to the spine, and exhaling, using the hands to create leverage. Inhale, tuck the chin, come up halfway, and exhale, come up all the way. And take both legs straight out in front. Ground the sit bones into the mat. Flex the feet. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, fold over the legs. Keeping the spine nice and long and straight. If you have a strap and you want to work on that, you can hook it around the feet, using it to create leverage, to lengthen, and exhale to fold. You can, of course, keep a bend in your knees if that feels more comfortable in your body. If you're bending the knees, maybe you take the arms under the knees and hug yourself in and allow the forehead to come down, taking it out of the neck. And inhale, tuck the chin, lift the head and slowly come up. And exhale, lower yourself all the way back down onto the mat for your Shavasana. Maybe you want to put something under the knees for extra support. Inhale here deeply and exhale, side out the mouth. Notice shoulder blades just rolling into the mat and the shoulder heads as gravity pulls you into your mat. Take any small movements you need to be comfortable here. Slowly start to relax each part of the body. The toes, the ankles, shins and knees, and all the muscles around them. Thighs and the hips. Abdomen, chest, low back, middle back, upper back, your whole spine and torso, shoulders, neck, all relaxed. Relax your jaw and relax the space between your eyebrows. Relax your whole face and head. Relax your mind. You are completely relaxed. You are completely relaxed. You are completely relaxed. Slowly start to bring your awareness back to your breath and back to your body. Start to make some small movements with the fingers and the toes, and then the wrists and the ankles. Bring the big toes to touch and flip the thumbs and reach the arms up overhead. On an inhale, take one big morning stretch. And exhale, let it go. Hug the knees into the chest and slowly roll over onto your right side, making a pillow with your right tricep. Pausing here just for a moment. Coming back into the world after your practice. Press your left hand into the mat and keeping the eyes closed, find your way to a comfortable, easy seat. Bring the palms onto the thighs. And take a moment here and scan your body and notice what's changed, what's shifted since the beginning of practice. Do you feel more open? Do you feel more calm? Bring your hands to prayer at heart center and bow the chin into the chest. And just take a moment to have gratitude and thank yourself for taking this time out for self-care and self-observance. So everything starts from within, it starts from you. So you can't give out love and care without first starting from yourself and from within. So be proud of yourself that you're taking this time for you and taking this time to do the work and go within and being conscious of having self-awareness. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through this practice. The light and love in me sees and honors the light and love in each and every one of you. Namaste.